It's really tough. But yeah.
It's just a process getting everything online. Hello, everybody. I want to figure out how to get the default for when we start a stream on YouTube. Keeps defaulting to the first title I put in there like months ago, but it's just.
Oh, I seen that, the baller cap one, yeah.
So I gotta go in and manually change it every time.
Yeah, we're gonna be working on all that. I got some people on the case. Hopefully I'm gonna learn how to have this all set up here, so ahead of time.
I got it. Come on. Well, at least the internet's working today, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
There's that. And then we get here. Then we got some chat. At least the internet's working today. Yeah, the audio might be a little bit low, so.
Oh, it's because it's not reading.
Yeah, the audio might be a little bit low, so.
Oh,
I gotta go mute that. Mute that. Okay. There's like 40 things that you need to do when you start the stream. So why the correct microphone? See if that helps.
Yep.
Okay, we should have decent audio now. Alright. Yeah, I had to switch the microphones and stuff around and get it all ready to go.
Yeah, how do you like the couch?
Should be kind of a fun episode here today. Gonna be bringing on some guests from New York City, talking about kind of the current state of affairs over there, and some ways to maybe make things a little bit better.
This might be your dad's couch from the 80s.
I'm pretty sure it's older than the 80s. I'm thinking this is the 60s or 70s. And it's more like grandma's couch.
So if somebody had it in the 80s, it probably was older, already 20 years old.
Yeah, if you can identify the vintage of this couch, I mean, throw that in the chat. That's something I'd like to know.
I feel like somewhere down in the past, everybody's kind of had one of these type of. It's this upholstery,
You'd think so.
right? Like.
Yeah. So if I go back here, all right. Well, so now that I think we got everything up online and operational, I want to introduce our guests here. For High Priority, New York City. So, see if you guys can come in online and
Can you hear me?
Yep, sure can.
We're here.
All right. Well,
I can't see you though.
yeah, well, I'm working on that. Jeremy, you're in the black box. Why does it have to give a black box? I mean, come on. Do we not have the technology?
But you see us.
You know, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
So, I wonder if I can,
Yeah, it's all good.
we should be able to, like, do different layers, you know?
Forgive me for not mentioning earlier. I'm also here with Ari Serrano, fashion designer extraordinaire. He's my other half of Weed Cyclers.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, that's pretty cool. I'm just trying to get you guys, let's see, maybe if I do this one here, and I think this is how it works. Come on, go to the top. Yeah, I think I got it figured out now. Look at that. All right. So you're just gonna have to, I'm gonna have to move that way a little bit.
Yeah, we'll squeeze.
But I don't. I'm not seeing any video of you yet.
Oh, that's just on my end. This ought to take care of that.
All right.
Come on. Turn it on.
Nope. There was a flicker or something.
Yeah, it's just
Hey.
the computer's just a bit
There we
laggy.
go.
What's up?
All right. So yeah, we're just hanging here on the couch, and
Well,
we're excited to have a chat with you guys about some of the work that you're doing in there in New York.
First off, let me give my thanks and praise to the Most High Dynavap for saving my life. I'd like to start off the podcast with that.
Okay, well that's pretty cool.
I don't want to sidetrack, but thanks to Dynavap for this opportunity. We always appreciate it. We are Weed Cyclers, and we are picking up the community one bag at a time.
One bag at a time.
That's great.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. I gotta figure out why we
And
picked.
who's with you on the other end there, by the way? I've never got to meet you. We've never got to speak or introduction.
Yeah, so that's Jeremy.
Nice to officially
Hey,
meet
Jeremy.
you. How's it going? I've seen your guys' work. I think it's amazing.
Thank you. Gratitude.
I love the recycling. I want me a bag.
We got to get on it. I know Dynavap, it's not particularly colorful Mylars, but I know you guys have Mylars, and I've sewn your Mylars too, so we can do a lot of different things.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Here's a bag in my hand right here.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. So, why don't you guys start us from the beginning and
right.
kind of give everyone that's watching a little bit of a rundown in terms of who you are, where you came from, and why you're doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is pretty cool.
Well, there's a lot of layers to that story. I guess I'll start only because in the recent years, the Mylar thing really began with I was walking to work, and I live in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and I would work in Williamsburg. And on the commute to and from work every day, I would see these Mylar bags that were covering the streets. And they were all different colors and cartoons and shapes and sizes. And they all were clearly cannabis related, which is an area that I specialize in. And I knew it had to do with cannabis, but it was foreign to me because I was never really somebody who would smoke out of a Mylar. My upbringing was around people who were sort of anti-establishment and anti-authority. When we talk about Rastafarian ideology, reggae, alternative things. So using Mylar wasn't a material that I was familiar with, but I saw that it was becoming a litter problem rapidly. And I was seeking a positive, constructive solution to this litter problem. And that's when it went from being a problem that I saw in my own mind, and I reached out to my friend here, Ari Serrano, who's a fashion designer with a lot more skill at the sewing machine. And when we realized that we could actually piece the materials together and use them as a fabric, in a sense, it went to the next level. So I'll let Ari talk a little bit about his background with designing.
No, that sounds cool.
Yeah, JP just kind of randomly showed me this tote bag. It wasn't this one. It was kind of like a more messed up one. It was like a wider one. He showed the yummy bag. The yummy bag was like it kind of looked like this one. And he made a big tote bag like this. And I was like, whoa, like that's made out of recycled bags. And he's like, yeah. And then I was just blown. Okay. My mind was kind of blown. I'm like, whoa, like this. I mean, of course we've seen like recycled merchandise, bottle can belts and race car belts and Capri Sun book bags and a fanny pack made out of Pepsi Cola cans that was made like in a foreign country. I've seen like when I was young, but like when JP showed me like this new material that he was using, which was the cannabis packaging, I was just like, whoa, he's taking it to a different level. And then he said that he was picking them up off the ground, which was even crazier to me. I'm like, there's no way this guy is picking these off the ground in New York City where it's disgusting and grimy. So that blew my mind even more. And it kind of took a while, but I remember I was like, bro, like, you're onto something crazy because you're right. Like, what's all of these graphics on these bags, and what does it have to do with actually cannabis? It's kind of like a big thing that's happening, like a fad, that's necessarily not going to exist probably in the next 15 to 10 years. So I thought he was a genius for just like, it's kind of like a time capsule for encapsulating this moment in time and making this merchandise out of it. And then that's when I came with my sewing skills to kind of elevate his bag, and we started creating other things.
I should add that we also, when he joined the team, we started actually looking into what Mylar was. And we started deep diving, and it got to the level where we realized that DuPont had put out a infomercial video that's available on YouTube where they have people bouncing on a trampoline that's like, a centimeter thin of Mylar. They're doing amazing things. They're dipping it in battery acid for a week, and there's no corrosion, there's no deterioration. So we saw that this Mylar material, it was really sturdy, durable stuff that had a history to it through industrialism, the war machine, a whole set of factors that really we weren't crazy for trying to use this material because it had been developed for these industrial applications in the first place.
No, that's really cool because it is a durable material, which makes it really good for preserving things. But at the same time, what happens when you're done?
Yeah, it must last and hang around for a while. it's not going anywhere.
No, it tends to hang around for a long time.
It's a very long time. Mylar doesn't deteriorate, and it's a horror show for recyclers and recycling facilities. That's what in our Googling and our searching into these questions, we see that it's not a substance that's able to easily be recycled at recycling facilities and the like. It's an area that's kind of being swept under the rug, literally. And with that, we're gonna, it's that human folly where we're gonna look back in 50 years, 20 years, God knows, and say, oh God, if we only would have stopped ourselves, maybe things would be different.
Yeah, exactly. But thankfully, you're making a difference with it right now, and doing it in kind of a really interesting way.
Thank you, and we'd like to show you a couple pieces. Just forgive it if we move around or anything.
Okay.
This is one that Ari made. Can you see if that shows up good? I'm gonna move it closer. That's a backpack.
Oh, that is so cool.
That's fantastic.
Oh, I love that.
So that's again a testament. Yep. That's where Ari took it to the next level because it really has a nice design that's got that spool.
Oh, you got on the inside
style.
too.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because whenever I've gone to buy bags and I sometimes don't want to throw them away because they're so pretty.
Exactly, and these bags are coming in all different types of sizes. Like, look at this one. This is a huge one.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it
pound
is.
bag.
Wow.
So it's like
Friendly neighbor.
when I see this one, I'm like, what a waste of time. It's like, what is going on? Like, why are we making a Spider-Man smoking weed and all of this waste? Where is this going at the end of the day after they parade around with it? And so me and JP are literally asking people hey, let me get that bag after you're done. And we're turning stuff like this into merchandise.
I think that's really cool that you're able to do that and
Also
make a nice usable product.
Oh, it's like a big collage roll up.
Wow. Okay.
This is a panel. I think he was making. What is this? What was this? A start? You were trying
Yeah, this is basically what it looks like when we're the fabric. This is basically Mylar fabric by the yard.
Okay, so you just kind of
And
put it
this is what-
together and then you just use it as a fabric.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Well, and it can be utilized a whole bunch of different ways. I mean, there's different techniques to piece it together. This is kind of built pack by pack, one by two stitched together, stitched to the next two, makes
Right.
four. So there's different techniques.
Okay.
It's a tote bag.
So I got a question from someone here. How are the bags cleaned, or do they need to be?
Depends on where they're obtained from.
Yep.
The ones from the streets certainly need to be sanitized, and we wash them, and we'll use soap and water to sanitize those. The ones that come back and sit around in our collection bin, which we haven't got to establish here, but we haven't got to talk about with you. But for the things that sit around or maybe aren't being picked up off the street, I think it's less of a sanitation risk. But the ones from the street, we need to let sort of cure out and sanitize. But it went from being the street bags, and now we moved on to more. So maybe I should tell you now about the Weed Cycler box. That, we've actually went from just being a street style thing, and now we're installing this dispensary box. It's a collection box receptacle for dispensaries specifically.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Where you can take back as a consumer. It's a positive outlet, just like we're talking about today, for that litter, that trash, that waste. We're providing an outlet where you can safely dispose of it, and we will collect it and return it back into, again, functional and branded materials. We've even got a dog collar here. This is a Cookies dog collar. It's for his dog, which is a little dog.
That is so awesome.
That's really cool.
So it's like, what can you not make almost out of this? Like, actually, right? The sky's kind of the limit with this Mylar.
It gets crazy.
You got a tie? Yeah.
No,
and it looks good. It's dazzling.
Look.
Wow. I mean,
with all that metallized, because a lot of this Mylar stuff is metallized and it's shiny. It's like fishing tackle.
That's so cool. It's got the ice cream cone on the bottom for the point. That is so clever.
And it's a stash. Isn't it a stash, Ari? He's got it. So it's an active stash pocket.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. So sometimes we keep the baggie open so then you could just put your flower back in.
Well,
redirecting, if I can, to that question about sanitizing, it's also a thing where it's coming with investment and resources, which we're working with investors and brands, companies now, farms. It's something that we'll be able to accomplish much more easily with the resources. So all that is coming soon. The more thorough sanitation and all these things. We're starting literally from the street up, not even from the grass, because it's all concrete out here. So,
right. So, how do people buy your product?
Currently, we're featuring our products in the dispensaries that carry the Weed Cycler collection box.
Okay. So you have to win it, right? You have to win one by donating a certain amount of times. Like that, and then we're having the activations at dispensaries where you could come and we call it
build a bag.
Okay, so it's
live on site.
It's not a product that people can currently just go on a website and purchase yet.
No, it's we need to figure some of those things out with a little more detail. We're not. This is still a grassroots and an up and coming thing where it's really a movement more than a business.
Yeah, more than a monetary retail business. Like we might consider our bags like art.
Well, those are definitely art.
Yeah.
High art.
Yeah.
High end art. So we're ironing out some of that. People can, of course, support us by following on Instagram. That's at Weed Cyclers. And if you can't find us because we're shadow banned, if you Google Weed Cyclers, the account should come up. But of course, we know there's problems with advertising these things on the internet. But again, finding a way around that is what we're doing, which is, hey, we're not trying to sell you anything. We're not trying to take advantage of you. In fact, we're working with the waste and making something meaningful. And it's kind of a concept that's turning people's minds around because they're not used to the idea of recycling being something which is so accessible and fun and usable. Usually recycling sounds like a pain and dirty and disgusting.
Right. But now
But this is not the case with being a weed cycler.
Yeah. Turning a lot of these single-use plastics into some pretty interesting, neat-looking products.
Yeah, and all practical products. Like, that's what's fun, too. Back into a bigger bag that's more even sturdy construction. Yeah.
Mylar was designed in part by NASA and DuPont for the space blankets and for protecting the space rations, the mashed potatoes. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like you're saying. It's way more than a single-use plastic. It's meant to go to space and back, and still maintain integrity.
Yeah, so we made like a little spacesuit.
Oh, really? I mean, come on.
This is Ari. This is all Ari. This guy, he sits in.
Somebody said in the chat earlier that they wanted some Mylar pants, and now here they're seeing them.
Hit up Weed Cycler, Ari Serrano, the one and only. That's and that's the cool thing. All the stuff that we make is one of one, custom. Every single bag is a unique bag in a unique place. All the placements are unique. So that's what we need. It's hard to standardize that for a website where this is the IKEA bag.
Yeah.
So
the laundry bag.
I mean, come on, this is fantastic.
Yeah, you make me want to go recycle my bags into the Weed Cycler's box. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm getting the vibe of, and I think that's what other people are going to get the vibe of, Is it makes you not want to throw it down or on the street or in your car and even in the garbage. It makes you want to go find that box and see what can be made out of everything that we're, doing. Yeah.
So where are the boxes? Because I'm sure there's some people in the New York area that might be watching or might catch this stream later. Where do they find the box?
Right now, we're still working with local New York dispensaries, but we're in about 3 or 4
this time.
We could name them if you want.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Or you can throw them in the chat or whatever. We just want to get them out there so that people know where they can contribute their Mylar, because we want to make sure that you don't run out of raw material.
So we definitely stop by Q at 42nd Street, Times Square. We have a Weed Cycler box at that location.
Okay.
And we also have a Weed Cycler box at the Flowery, Soho. Yeah.
Okay.
Right off of Broadway and Canal Street.
Okay.
And we currently have a box also at Conbud Yankee Stadium.
Literally like a 5-minute walk from Yankee Stadium.
Nice.
How often do you check them?
Monthly.
Monthly?
Yeah, we could stop by once a month. I mean, unless there's a catastrophe with the Mylar.
Right.
The idea is have the box in a corner that's any corner that's not right by the front door, so people don't obviously confuse it with a trash can or a recycling bin walking out. It's got to have what's the word I'm looking for? A placement, a meaningful placement in the location that respects what it's doing there, but otherwise they should just be checked every month.
Yeah, the placement's fascinating. It's kind of like a game. Like, where's the best place to put the box so people will put the, you know what I mean? That's fun.
We also have like an unorthodox place that might be coming soon, which is in a bodega, like a local bodega hit us up the other day.
Thanks for reminding me, Art. The bodega out in Jackson Heights, Queens,
which is a small grocery convenience store.
Yep.
Shout out to them. I can't. We haven't barely, it's in talks, but it should go through. But they got famous for doing a sandwich on a Mexican concha, the dessert, the Mexican breakfast dessert roll. So they're going to be picking up a Weed Cycler box and bringing that sustainable mentality to the neighborhood, which we think is so cool, because now we're even going outside of the dispensary.
Right.
We're going into your community, into your neighborhood.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, my long-term goal is like festivals, Six Flags, amusement parks. Like there there's places that I remember growing up, and my uncle would be like, "Oh, I gotta go smoke a cigarette in like the cigarette zone where you can smoke." There should be a weed cycler box at every smoking designated area in the next 5 years. You know, like, and that's our dream.
No, I think that's a pretty cool dream, and I do think that there's certainly an opportunity to convert more of this plastic into usable things. And I see someone here talking about recycling without melting. It's a nice approach because
Yes, right.
it's a simplistic conversion, and some of these bags, they're pretty colorful, and that's fine.
Oh yeah, especially the bags they're using.
I think it's fantastic. It's a nice solution to kind of this problem that has been created by the industry requiring in some states the use of these Mylar bags. Okay, what do we got here?
This is the metallized.
Sometimes the light is too much.
Wow.
That's the metallized belt. The BB, was it the BB Simon?
Wow! Holy cow!
Come on, they're making everything. This is like
Here,
positive.
I'm gonna change.
Sometimes when you put it directly on it, it's too much.
Yeah, I can see what you mean though. It's all holographic. That's really cool.
And this is strong. Like, you can pull this and try to snap it, and it's not gonna do nothing. Yeah.
So I got another question in the chat. Wanting to know if you take mail-in donations.
Yeah, absolutely. You can, if you'd like, please message us at Weed Cyclers. That's at Weed Cyclers or at High Priority NYC, and I will respond to you about taking those bags. And please save your bags so you can earn the swag. Yep.
No, I like it. No, it's a cool idea. Do you guys make wallets?
Funnily enough, George, that's where it
started. Yeah.
That's I kind of fast forward. I fast forwarded over this part of the story, but when I first saw all those bags walking to and from my job, my 9 to 5, I initially thought maybe I could take these and make them into wallets. So wallets was the first one, and actually, or if you go in my bag there, you can see one of the early prototypes, of the wallets. This is the first one.
No kidding. Okay.
It's just been covered. I've covered it with stickers now, but
Sure.
It was the plastic. The outside layer was chipping away, but
Sure.
That was the first wallet that ever got made, and from there we kind of went to belts and then to tote bags, but absolutely wallets. There's a potential for that as well, and that's where the idea really, the seed started as a wallet. Funnily enough.
Right, but the tote bags makes a lot of sense because now here's an opportunity to use up quite a few already used bags and make something that can be reused again and again and again.
Even we've got the backpacks are rather nice. This is a drum bag style one. That's my personal backpack. Kind of a rugged, more of an outdoorsy one. You can see it really has a decent amount of carrying space.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It seems like it would be waterproof if you close it up right.
Exactly. It's practically waterproof for all intents and purposes. You see that graphic on the front?
Yeah.
With the guy with the hands and the cash and everything.
There's already such a good market of people buying bags and reusing them for groceries and stuff. So now they can go you can go one step further, and you can buy a recycled already bag. You know what I'm saying? Instead of purchasing a bag that's already being manufactured, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to this. If anybody wants to be conscious about recycling and using the same bag, these bags are already been used, been recycled, right? Like, I think it's fascinating.
So I'm seeing some questions here about people that want to basically support you guys and contribute by purchasing some of your art, you know, is there some way that you can, you know, connect with some of the people on the stream that are following you, right? You know, that just follow you at Weed Cyclers, right? And
Yes.
you know, maybe there's a way for some of the new people that are joining in and just following your movement to, you know, contribute in some other way or something along those lines, because people want to support you. So if you're looking to connect, you know, please connect at Weed Cyclers on Instagram. Now, are you on other social channels too?
We're gonna open a YouTube soon
Okay.
under the same name, but
Presently, Weed Cyclers on Instagram, we just struggle with it because we felt the wrath of the how do you say the bots or like.
Oh yeah.
We really struggle with getting viewed because sometimes when you go to search it, we don't come up. That's why I mentioned if you Google Weed Cyclers, we'll come up in the Google results, and that should be able to take you to the page. Presently, High Priority NYC is my personal Instagram page.
Okay.
That you could also contact and find the page through. And then Ari, what's your Instagram, my brother?
Please look at my AS. But also, if anybody's interested in like a commission, we do commissions kind of for a bag. They could just hit us on the DM us.
Yep, absolutely. Please reach out to us.
Yeah.
Or email us. I think there's an email.
Yes, weedcyclers@gmail.
Because we have done commission projects for people.
Very cool.
Without having a .com that you could just buy with a click. They just contact us in the DM. They say, hey, we want this. We have these bags that we could send you. Could you make us a personal bag? And then we give you an estimate of how much it would cost us in labor and stuff.
No, that sounds really cool. So yeah, you get in touch with the Weed Cyclers and commission a piece of art. I think would just be fantastic.
Somebody says a baseball hat would be cool.
Yeah.
JP has this hat right here.
Oh, I've seen this hat. I've seen this hat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's like a beret.
Yeah, like a Kang. It's a Kangol. You know, it's a Kangol that's lined. Rasta style kind of thing.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so we can, of course, please send us your ideas, and if you have any pictures with it, that's weedcyclers@gmail, highprioritynyc@gmail, or on Instagram. I'm thinking about steering the convo towards something that, you know, to show your viewers how we also kind of work with Dynavap and how we get inspired by Dynavap. We've got another little piece here.
All right.
I wonder if we can demo for you live on here.
Would love for you to demo that. That thing is pretty cool.
So the beginning of our friendship here between my brother Ari Serrano and myself it is through Mary Jane, Miss Mary Jane, and he was the one probably 2 years ago now where we were sitting around having a little hashish one evening, and I said, man, you're so creative, you've got this amazing creativity and style and fashion. I said, what can we do? How can I work with you about something with weed? What can we do with weed and fashion? And Ari said to me, he took a drag, a puff, and he said, you know those sports hats, like you put the beers in? He said, let's do something like, he's like, what if it was a bong? What if that instead of beer was a bong? And I went home that night and I said, I'm gonna think on that and what I can do. And a couple days later, I came back to him with a prototype, and that was the start of our creative adventure together in New York City. Was this bong hat, and
no, that's fun.
in the past year when we both got turned on to Dynavap, it was just a no-brainer that, hey, now we can intertwine the Dynavap with the bong hat for an even better experience. And I'll let Ari take the first hit.
All right, I just love it. So it's super easy to take this thing mobile.
Oh yeah, we can just put it over here.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect for a sports game, a baseball game out at the park, a softball game, whatever you want to take, a football game at the local sports stadium. This is your tool for a good time, and it's without the booze. Again, we're going back to positivity because we know that there's a lot of health risks with abusing, even recreational use of alcohol. Sustaining that damage long term. Here, you can celebrate at the sports game, but with a safer substance.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You guys were doing this for a few months back, right? I seen a couple videos a while back.
Yeah, this was the thing probably since about 2+ years.
Okay.
We've known each other now. This was the initial start of our relationship.
What do we got up there? Is that a hyper? Is that a Hyperdyne?
I heard the click.
Yeah, so inside my hand is the mouthpiece part.
Yep.
Which is rigged to the back with tubes, and then
go ahead and hit it, and I'll move the camera for it.
Oh yeah. Looks like it works.
Look at the sticker, looks so good.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
What a great hat.
Yeah, I love it myself.
So do you wear that on the subway?
Public, Times Square, Union Square, Washington Square Park, Brooklyn, Bronx. We've taken it all over, and wherever we go, smiles break out. Infectious.
Yeah, that's just fantastic.
Have you tried it solo? Has anybody tried it? Like, have you tried it by yourself with the hat on? Like, can you get the wand up there? Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, I guess.
A little difficult, I suppose, but.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heated up with the wand in there. No, I've heated up for other people with the wand in there.
Right.
But you can do it. We'll do it live on air, man.
Right. But you could also heat it up with the wand in your hand and then just
and
it
pop
goes.
it up.
Yep.
That would be my usual method, George.
Yeah, because you could just take it out.
Right. Yeah.
So we're really joining the best of all, fire, water, air. We've got it all here with Dynavap. Because it's taken it to the next level, more than just a smoking bong, since we've progressed into the thermal extraction, shall we say.
No, right. I love it. So you've got a bit of a story regarding your transition from smoking to thermal extraction too, don't you?
Certainly.
I think
it has a lot to do with Dynavap, because otherwise I wouldn't have changed. I don't know what I was going to do. But Dynavap fit that area perfectly. Let me take one more hit and I'll tell you more about it.
That's so great.
Like taking a bike ride and just lighting it and then putting it in and just going.
See, that's fantastic.
Oh, I need this one.
See,
ride
you don't have to hold it. It's just there.
I could one wheel and ride and hit that.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great on a one wheel, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
We put the fun in functional.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Okay.
So I was going to tell you more after that lovely hit about how Dynavap relates to the health and wellness that I've found after ceasing smoking, and that's just it. Is because I smoked largely because it was like in my opinion, the less environmentally destructive of like all the options. You could just roll up a little joint or smoke a little hash, and in the scheme of things, like it's the least resource consuming, one might argue.
Okay.
But it was, again, because I lean more towards the naturalistic and the holistic and all these things that people told me about Rastafari and all this stuff when I was younger. I thought was cool. So that's where my mind's at. So I know I didn't want to use a vaporizer with a battery, and eating cannabis wasn't really my thing because it changes when you eat. The liver metabolizes it into a different molecule, and it changes the experience, which I know a lot of experienced users know, and a lot of unexperienced users find out quickly with the so-called cookie casualties.
Right.
People take too many brownies or cookies and trip out. But smoking creates a different experience. It's kind of immediate, but it's nice to kind of get a quick little lift. If you're an artist, a creative, somebody like us, where you want that a brief inspiration and a nice kind of feeling good, but not knocked out for hours. So Dynavap filled that void where there was a vaporizer with no battery, but yet it maintained the quality of vaping like you were almost tasting the pure herb, and that's where Dynavap entered as my winner, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I'm always promoting Dynavap when I can, just because I really believe in the quality. And actually, funnily enough, the first time I tried Dynavap was with this gentleman here.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
So, did it take you a little while then to transition your consumption from more smoking to something else, or what was that path like?
Learning to dial in the technique. Technique is everything with the Dynavap.
Yep.
And once I dialed in my technique and I learned how to not combust, I was just using the Dynavap. I didn't have to wean off smoking. There was no desire to smoke. Once I got those first couple tasty hits of what vaping was, and even the first time we hit it a little too hot, truth be told, because we didn't know what we were doing. He was using the torch, and he just blasted it, and it was too hot. But thankfully, there was that rosin in there, which, as we discussed, it kind of holds the temp down. So it didn't really combust the first time, but it was so close that once I figured out on my own how to administer daily, regularly, with consistent results, the flavor that I wanted, it was effortless. And I don't crave smoking. I don't want to go and smoke a joint. It's fantastic in that regard.
Well, that's really cool to hear about, and I think it's a story that's going to resonate with quite a few other people as well. All of a sudden, there's an alternative where you can get a whole lot of what you're looking for with less of the things that you don't want.
More of the things you do want.
More of what you do.
I know Ari had a question for you I wanted to remind you about. Remember you were asking Ari about if it decarbs, if the molecules change. Did you want to?
Yeah, because I decarboxylated weed in the oven before.
Yep.
So I was thinking, since the Dynavap is kind of like this handheld oven contraption, are you decarboxylating the flour when you are hitting the Dynavap, or?
Yes.
No?
It's simple as that. Yes. So I've watched. Trying to remember who it is that when they get done 1-2 cycles in their Dynavap, they open it up, dig it out in their hand. The ABV goes in the mouth while they pack another one.
They put it in their mouth?
Wow. They eat it. Like,
save your cookies because it's all decarboxylated.
It's ready to go.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that way, he's like, well, that's why I don't have to carry it around. I'm just not going to waste it.
I know a lot of people that just put it right into the cookie batter. just as a...
That guy's a weed cycler.
Yes, exactly.
That's ultimate weed cycling right there.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep. Oh, so, there's another one that eats some. It says, "I eat mine as I go." So, it's the products that we make are effectively ovens, and they decarb your weed and get it all ready to go. Allow you to pull a little bit off for flavor and for effect, and whatever's left over, whether you eat it right away or you save it for later,
jar it up.
It's ready to go.
I got a pretty big jar full at my house that I've just collected.
You see, you guys are all weed cyclers, but you didn't even know it.
You know how many times I've dumped out my Dynavap?
Oh, do you know how many times I've actually used my ABV because I didn't have anything, so I reused it. I reheated it, and I got like 2 more out of this, and it's like, oh, I wasn't finished with any of this actually.
Yep. It's nice having some efficiency options.
Yeah.
Can I add on to that question too?
Sure.
So I know also, because I'm very interested in the chemistry. We've spoken briefly, George, about the rosin and so forth. There are different temperatures at which different cannabinoids will change, or they might degrade. I know when you're using it in live time, it's not this way, but is there a way you can sort of make certain molecules come off? You can keep it at certain temps and keep certain.
Absolutely. So there's the quick guide, right? Heat the tip for a tasty rip, or heat the base to go to space, right? Which is about, if you're using a torch, the flame placement on your cap. For example, heating the tip is referring to heating the cap closer to the groove on the end, right? Versus heating the base is the other end. And
or the digger.
Yep. And then I can remember, as we were kind of refining this little guide, we were working on another prototype tip, and I was having a chat with some of the beta testers, and I remember someone said, well, and below the base to melt your face. It's like, okay. So yes, you can totally dial in the temperature based on how and where you heat your cap.
And even to that degree, maybe if you had a CBD bud, you could potentially, at certain temperatures, I'm even thinking with the wand or something, if you kept it real low, you could maybe get more terpenes, but less of cannabinoid and so forth, if you wanted to.
Yeah, and there's another technique that I've seen you use, especially as we were just getting familiar here before the stream, and that's what I refer to as drive-by taste. Okay, and this works really well with an induction heater. It's harder to do and not necessarily recommended with a torch, but you can sip on your Dynavap device while you're heating it, especially with an induction heater. And this will give you your absolute best indication in terms of where are you at, right? Because you'll be able to taste when things start to get close to ignition.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll just double click the wand and I'll just be like pulling on it before it even starts heating. I'll just kind of like take breaths and taste it, and then it'll be like, oh, there we go. There's the right spot. And then it's like, it's usually like right in between the click, right before the click. Sometimes it's like right after the click. I think it depends on how much oil you got in your material and what click you're on.
Yep.
That's like why driving by taste is so awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, we were speaking about the oil earlier. I was speaking with George. What I've found is that, the oil the more oil, the less combustion. I'll put it like that. The more oil there, the less chance of combustion.
Yeah, the less chance your triple torch will burn on the first hit.
Yeah.
I go back to different torches right now. I was using a triple torch, and I noticed I had to keep it quite a bit of ways away. to keep it like at a distance, but then on my single torch, I can kind of bury it in a single torch. You know, it just depends on what you're looking for, because that triple torch is going to heat it up quite a bit faster, so your click's going to be quicker. But the single torch is going to be a little bit more accurate, no matter where you're placing it. Yeah, it's just. I was having fun just going back to torches, because then you got a double torch, and it's in between both of those. So it's just kind of fun.
Yep. And they got induction heaters, and then they got charcoal.
Thank you, George. You're saving my breath. That's my favorite way. If I could, it's just a little more messier with the, blowing the charcoal. Like for right now, it just doesn't fit the setting we're in.
Right.
But that's my absolute favorite way is the charcoal. Because you really, what it feels like to me, and it's perfect for the name of your Sunday podcast, tea time. When you use the Dynavap with the charcoal, to me, it begins to feel like cooking, like you're preparing a cup of tea or coffee over a little campfire.
So I was recently just over a campfire, and I took a stick that had like this much red, like it was just all red, and I pulled it up, and I was rolling my Dynavap on that. So basically charcoal, but it was so efficient. It worked so good. It was like a hot stick.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too hot to where it was like burning me, so I wasn't like reaching over the fire. You just pull a stick up and kind of twist it on the stick. And
I mean, how does it get better than that? You can just sit around the campfire with some friends you like hanging out with, and I'm sure people have grabbed a stick out of the fire to light their joint or their cigarette.
Right.
I mean, for who knows how many decades, right? But you can use your thermal extraction device the same way.
I feel like you could lay like
nice
3 of them on the stick and like cook 3 of them. It's kind of like you're cooking marshmallows.
Right. That'd be a cool video.
Just lay them all down and have them all click. We'll see when they click.
Pull
them off at different times.
Yeah.
I've actually stuck one of my devices on the marshmallow skewer and stuck the whole device in the fire like a marshmallow.
That's perfect.
Because I didn't want to burn my fingers. And yep, that works too.
You just looped it on the fork.
Yeah, you just want to be a little bit careful because it's all about your temperature control, right?
That's where Dynavap's fun to me, because it takes a little bit of awareness to use the device. It's not just going to heat for you. You know, you're always having to be mindful of what you're doing. But I think that's good.
But it's the same thing with your roasted marshmallows. If you're not paying attention, all of a sudden your marshmallow's on fire.
Right.
But
sensitivity.
Yeah, some people like burnt marshmallows.
Yeah, and I mean it's like choice. If I want to go really simple, I will just use the induction heater. But a lot of times the induction heater is just too big for my pocket, and I got to take my small torch out. Like there's nothing simpler than right now just having my torch and my one unit in my pocket, and I don't even know it's there. It's definitely like the smallest vaporizer that I am able to take out with me.
Well, especially the little tiny mini ones.
You mean this?
Oh yeah, that one. Yep.
My necklace.
What's that? That's that tiny the mini twin.
Yep. Yeah. This is my mini on a necklace. So I usually.
Oh yeah. Nobody even notices it's there.
I kind of load this, and I kind of get away with taking this.
Places that you normally wouldn't.
Anywhere. Nobody questions me about my necklace. Nobody. So it's just my whistle.
Yeah, it's cool, man. We got to get some of those ourselves. We got to do that.
Oh, we got to get you some necklaces.
Yeah.
So all this stuff adds up to be conscious consumerism, like we're talking about.
Yep.
Hey, I know I want to use cannabis, but I know I don't want this, or I want to enjoy the benefits, but I want less of the negatives. Is it realistic? And so we're looking at the same puzzle either way, which is how do we improve therapeutic value?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And how do we reduce the negative impact that we might have, right?
Because there is, it's undoubtable. We can't be childish or foolish and say, oh, the boogeyman isn't there. Oh, it's make believe. We're not doing anything. That's what we deal with a lot as weed cyclers sorry to say, in the New York cannabis community, is a lot of sweeping under the rug and a lot of telling fairy tales. Oh, that's not like this. It's really like this. Don't.
Yeah. A lot of times we go into dispensaries and we pitch to them the donation box, and you'd be surprised. A lot of the owners of the dispensaries are like, we don't sell anything in Mylar. Why would I need something like this? And then JP the other day, he's like, hey sir, not to be rude, but if you just turn around, he had like 5 Mylar in this flower for sale, and it's just like, for some reason, the first thing people want to tell us is, no, that's not. There's no problem with plastic and that. I'm not doing anything to aid to the problem, and it's kind of weird. It's like, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, well, change is difficult.
Right.
Simple as that.
I mean, plus you're
reluctant.
Everything you're doing is positive, so I mean, it's just there's no way negative here for what you're doing. I think it just is something that's going to catch on, and I want to see these boxes in other states.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to see people sending you all their packages. I think that's where it like starts to grow.
It'd be so awesome just to go to the grocery store with a tote bag.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I would take that bag in with me because I would be also proud of it.
Yep.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Because like I said, I got bags in my house that I haven't thrown away. Sometimes I know they're empty and I still look in them.
Well, they are kind of works of art.
They are. No, there are. There's like this blue shark bag that I have, and it's beautiful, right? Like it's just like this really matte blue Mylar looking, and it's got a shark on it, and I just see it in like everything you guys are doing, and it would be like a perfect fit.
Man, I can totally see you on the one wheel with that hat.
Oh God, that's gotta happen.
Also, some of these bags, these eighths or quarters or however you're buying your flour, cost maybe $60, $70 for one 3.5 gram flour pack.
Right.
So you're spending $70. Why would you throw that out? Why don't you save that and make a statement and like walk around like, hey, look at all of the
clout.
Yeah, look at the flour I buy on a daily. Look, I buy the blackberry cake and I buy the Dynavap cherry gelato, and I want to show off that I buy this all the time.
Right.
And so it's kind of like a show off thing, and we're just trying to make recycling cool.
Yeah, because I've already used my bags like multiple times. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like my Mylar bags that I've had, like I've put other stuff in those bags for a few times.
That's good. That's you're very unusual. You are a rarity in the sense, or at least in New York, where it's really especially in New York, because of the mentality of single-use plastics such as Kit Kat wrappers, Ensure bottles, Coke cans.
Yeah.
All the food has to come in single use. So the Mylar in New York is sort of getting confused. It's rapidly being confused with single-use plastic.
Right.
And so it's just, they don't use, a lot of these people, once that eighth is out of the bag, onto the street it goes.
This bag is like 5 times stronger than a Ziploc.
Oh, yeah.
And every one of them is going to like choke, and again, we don't want to strand them, but it's a threat to let's say like this, it's a threat to the wildlife, to ocean life. And so everyone we can keep inside of this box and out of the ocean, we're doing, at least we know something really positive.
I think it's fantastic because the bags last a long time. Just simple
Infinite.
as that.
Yep. What I've said as a catch line is that recycling is in. Go and take a look when you guys get home and you take a shower tonight. You're gonna see in your shower all the shampoo bottles. made with it's 80% post-recycled consumer waste. Oh, ocean breeze, mango mist. Everything is natural. Everything is advertised to you in a naturalistic, holistic way. Good for sensitive skin, soothes skin.
Right.
Everything is marketed with this naturalistic way, even though it's coming in a plastic bottle or jar. So we're just staying with the times, really, is what we're doing.
Yeah, even if you look right here, there's like the California regulation symbol. So we're eventually want weed cyclers to be like a symbol that's being put on all the Mylar bags.
Oh, that would be smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that says that your company works with weed cyclers right here, and that this bag is something that's getting recycled the right way, and that's our dream. That's another dream. So if you're a brand watching us right now and you want to partner with weed cyclers and put our recycling bag on your brand, and you're in California or Florida or Japan, just because we're New York City doesn't mean we don't want to travel.
Reach out.
Yeah.
No, love it, guys. Well, hey, really enjoyed the conversation. You know, we're gonna kind of wrap things up. Is there anything else that you wanted to kind of finish up with before we kind of call it a day?
Thanks for saving my life. Have a great night. Can we expect anything cool from Dynavap soon?
Oh yeah, I'd tear myself away from it.
The change is crazy.
Well, maybe we
Say
could,
it again, George.
I said I had to tear myself away from a little project I'm working on right now that you guys will see. It's probably going to be a couple months, but there's some pretty cool things in process right now. So,
Process.
yes, in process.
Time and processes go hand in hand.
Yeah, sure does. Man.
Thanks, Dynavap.
Yes.
Thanks, George. Thanks.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, your name one more time?
Jeremy.
Mark? Jeremy.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Likewise.
So,
Good night, everyone.
yeah, thank you, everybody.
We